What I noticed is, well, I want to say what you shouldn't be doing when you actually arriving and checking the vehicle from the private seller, right? Your main priority would be, once you are arrived and checking the car, you should be understanding vehicle's condition, whether that is matching that what you've seen on an advertisement, right? Not asking what is the fuel consumption, how does it drive, etc. You're gonna validate that on the road test yourself, right? Because you're just wasting your time. You're getting too friendly with the seller. That's what you want to. You want to stick to the point, you know. So that means when you arrive, your main concern is just vehicle's condition. And if you're gonna go to purchase it, person's ID, proof of purchase, right? Because the logbook is not proof of purchase, it's just a keeper. So that it doesn't mean they have a right to sell the car, right? Fact. So cut all the nonsense, right, to the minimum. Vehicle's condition once you're there. That's what matters at that point. You want to see the condition. Once you validate the condition, then you validate the ID, you prep the contract. You have to have a contract already. And then you write all the IDs so you have the right details in a contract, just in case you are scammed somehow, right? Or you will need to take this person, even a private seller, to the court, right? Because there is something they haven't disclosed, right? So why I'm saying this, because when I arrived on the inspection, there's a guy, he's asking, what is the consumption on a car? What is this? Well, I'm thinking, seriously? Don't you look haven't you seen the ad? You know? So before you actually go into the seller, private or trade, validate anything you need to know over the phone. How long they had this car? Does it have a full service history? If it doesn't have full service history, don't waste your time. You know, just don't tolerate that car. Simple fact. Both keys, that's what you want. Then you can ask how long they had this car, who was the previous keeper, who was the keeper or owner before, you know, so was it used for business, you know, etc. Then you can ask, is the recent service carried out? When it has been carried out? Does the vehicle has timing belt or chain? If it's got a belt, when the belt has been done, you know. If they don't know, no one knows anything. You need to know the timing schedule, you know, and ask them when it was it done last time. If it's a 5-year-old car, it would more likely would need doing. There are a few cars which is you do it every 6 or 7 years, you know. Some older cars has 10 years, but most of the cars are basically, as general rule, is 5-6 years. Timing belt needs doing. Timing belt or wet timing belt, right? So you ask all these questions you want to know before, you know. Once you go, your main criteria is looking at an area where the seller lives, you know, and how worried you will need to be about legitimacy of the paperwork and everything else, right? That's what I would worry. And the vehicle's condition, right? So that's an observation, you know. You will cut out all the nonsense you don't need, you know, because you want to get to the point, you know. As I said, on the phone, you grill, ask the questions, make sure it is within your means and it meets all your criteria, right? And only then go and see the car. And once you're there, main thing is vehicle's condition, VIN numbers. And then if you do decide to purchase it, don't do it on the same day. And then the next big thing would be verification, looking on his ID, you know, if the vehicle is at the same location, if the logbook is registered at the same address as where you're viewing the car, and then obviously you need to know that, do they have a proof of purchase? Can they actually physically sell the car? Do they own this car, right? So that will be on your next day, you know, because everything what I just said, there's too much for one person, you know, to validate in one day. You know, that's why your safest bet is get an inspection, let somebody be embarrassed and do all the things what it needs to be doing on a car. And then only your worry would be, if it's in satisfactory condition, just check the paperwork, you know, sign the contract and be safe.